F Adidas, I am Adidas. Adidas raped and stole my designs. Have you heard those famous words coming out of the artist Ye, formerly known as Kanye West? Well, recently in the news, Kanye West has again been in the news and the hot topics. Welcome to Law Chat with Girija. This is Girija Bhargav Patel, your legal BFF, and welcome to Law Chat 101. Today's Law Chat, I'm actually going to be talking quickly about Kanye West and Adidas' relationship and collaboration, but also what happened and what you need to know and what you need to know when you're getting into a collaboration. Because at the end of the day, we all get into collaborations with different companies or another person, and there's some hot things that you need to know before you dive into that. Now, this is Law Chat 101, so these are quick tips, but I am also going to have a full Law Chat podcast episode about this and dive a little bit deeper into the nuances and also some of the things that you truly do need when you're getting into collaboration. But let's talk about Kanye West, aka Ye. So quick on what happened between them. So they have actually, Adidas and Kanye West, or Ye, they have been in collaboration since 2013. However, they got into a fashion brand collaboration in 2016. Now, I'm hoping, and I also know that there are some contracts involved in here, as you should also be having contracts. Now, unfortunately, what I don't know is what was inside those contracts and what was written in those contracts to help navigate the current issue that they're having today in 2022. Now, back in June, Kanye West said that, hey, Adidas, you're stealing my designs. You're copying my slippers. And at the end of the day, Adidas was trying to resolve this issue behind the scenes, as they are claiming in the news as well. Now, what those conversations led to, where the frustrations are leading into, that's where the hot topics are coming in now. That's where it is also a lot of the fire is burning. Because at the moment, there's a lot of emotion involved. And like any other conflict that's happening between two partners or two people, companies that are collaborating together, it is the emotional aspect of it. And so fast forward to September, October, there is no resolution. There's no understanding between the two parties, and they're both pretty solid parties, independent of each other as well. So they quite frankly don't need each other ultimately either to survive. And so that's why a lot of the ego is getting in there, and then a lot of the you are going to go my way or the highway type of situation as well. And so now they're at crossroads because they're not resolving it behind the scenes, even though they're trying to. And they're also not able to stop the conversation. So as we all know, Ye speaks his mind. And that's exactly what he's been doing. Just recently with that entire phrase that I just said, these words that everybody knows that came out of his mouth and on social media. In addition to that, there's a lot of disparagement happening and a lot of accusations that are happening in the public forums. And that hurts people's brands. And that's where the money is, the brand image that is being ruined or tarnished by other people that are involved with them, and also that have inside information that, we don't have as consumers. And so all of this is going into the issues that they're having, and plus I'm sure a whole bunch of other stuff that we don't know about. Now, how does that apply to us? Well, quickly, when you're getting into collaborations, especially in the season of collaborations right now, where the holidays are coming up, and you're wanting to get some brand partnerships out there, whether you're an influencer or whether you are, a storefront, we all work with other people or other companies, and we're getting into collaborations. So number one thing you need to have is a contract. However, prior to that, what you need to have is to make sure that your ethos and your values are the same. Recently, again, with Ye issue and Kanye West issue is the fact that Kanye also had a fashion show, or had like some of his models come out wearing t-shirts that say White Lives Matter. Now, he claims that was for funny amusement, that was a joke, it was, ironic. Meanwhile, Adidas is like, no, thank you. That is absolutely against what we stand for as a company. That is not in alignment with our values. And so since then, they're reviewing their partnership with Ye, and it's under review at the moment. And so when that happened, that's when Kanye again started reacting to their partnership and to all the issues that were happening as well. And so that misalignment of values is really important to catch beforehand and not after the relationship has started. And so how do we figure that out? Well, you read about them. You look at their messaging on their, social media or their websites. You look at how they are practicing their businesses, how they're interacting with communities, their customers, the people that they're working with. And so you have to see if there's alignment with the brand that you are wanting to collaborate with or partner up with, because ultimately collaboration means partnership. Now, the next thing that you want to do is that once you've come to an agreement, you've had conversations and you're like, yes, this is amazing, put it in a contract, because when people are happy, the contract is easier to write and you're going to have an easier time finding resolutions. And also, you're going to have an easier time writing how to resolve issues. Some of the things that need to be in that contract, which kind of go to my next few points, is number one, an exit strategy. How do you get out of that contract if somebody is not happy anymore, or if there's a conflict that can't be resolved, or there's something that's happened, breach? How do you get out of this contract? And what happens if there is a breach of contract that's material to the relationship and to the collaboration? Number two in the collaboration is that, as the word says, people are doing something together. They're partnering up. So it has to be clear on what each party is bringing to the table. What are their actions? What's their contribution to this relationship, to this partnership that you're having? And how does that look? Is it money only, or is it actual intellectual, ideating, thought process, design? Or is it actual services that you're providing in that partnership? What is the partnership looking like, and how does it, reflect in the understanding of the parties? Now, number three is money. Money is how much money people are putting in, but also how much money is everybody taking home. So what does the distribution look like between the parties when you're making money? Because ultimately the goal is to make money, but you also need to realize, how are we going to distribute this money between the parties? Number four that you need to look at is intellectual property. Again, if we see anything out of this entire issue, is that Kanye has claimed that Adidas is stealing his designs. This can go to court, and this can stay in court for well over 10 years also, because that's what happens with trademark, copyright infringements, and patent infringements. They are in court for a very long time, and it's a lot of money. What's easy, and it's definitely not something that will prevent court, but maybe perhaps mitigate and make it easier for others to arbitrate the issue or for others to judge, is that if it's something written in the contract, that who owns what? What does the intellectual property ownership look like? And meaning, who owns the trademarks, who owns the products, who owns the designs? And if they were to exit, and if there's a termination of the partnership, who owns what at that time? Does the production stop? Because according to Adidas, they are going to be continuing the production process as planned until they're completed. And so it seems to me that the contract states that they will complete what is on the table, and then after that, they'll halt any type of production after that. I could be wrong, but that's what I've just gauged from reading about this situation. And so you also want to have a plan of action, and that plan of action should be written in that contract. So don't be scared if your contract is 15 pages, because you know what? Those 15 pages will be helpful if there is a conflict. And it's so important to really flush out the intellectual property rights, who owns what during the contract relationship, and then post relationship, who owns what, who takes what home, and when do the design productions or whatever collaboration you're doing stops. And at that point also, what happens to the services or the products that are now created? Are you still selling them, or are you taking everything back and just pretending like it doesn't exist anymore in the world? But how are you taking care of it? Intellectual property is super important, and it's very important that you address it not only prior to the contract being signed and having those conversations, but writing it into the contract and having a plan of action. So these tips are meant for you to have a better collaboration. These are quick tips. I'm going to be diving a little bit more later on another podcast episode of Law Chat, but this is Law Chat 101. Now, if this was helpful to you, please be helpful to me. Subscribe and share this podcast episode with your friends and your family and people in your industry, your other business friends as well, because the more they see, the more it can be helpful to their business. But at the end of the day, people will have more eyes on Law Chat, and the whole idea is education and empowerment. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye.